Thank you, Deputy Speaker. As colleagues here would be aware, I was only elected to this place last year. I don't have the depth of experience and connection that long-time members have, but I do bring the perspective of my community. Many Australians had not given much thought to the workplace experiences of parliamentarian staff before 2021. But what they have learnt since Brittany Higgins brought her allegations to public attention is horrifying. The Set the Standard report that followed transformed our understanding of what goes on in this place and the experiences of staff and others in this building. The report reveals workplace where bullying, harassment, abuse and assault occur all too often, and often without consequence. That report found almost 2/3 of female parliamentarians and half of LGBTIQ people working in Parliament have experienced sexual harassment, more than the national average for women, which is 39%, and significantly more than the 1/4 of men experience in Parliament. Most disturbing of all of this is that this appalling workplace is our workplace, our national Parliament. The behaviour documented by Commissioner Kate Jenkins would be unacceptable in any workplace in the country. One of the findings that really resonated with me was a finding about the leadership deficit in Parliament. In a building full of national and local leaders, there was a comprehensive failure of leadership when it came to creating and maintaining a workplace culture that was safe, respectful and inclusive. With an absence of leadership in this place has come a culture where standards are not established or enforced, where misconduct is tolerated and where serious wrongdoings occur. We are all familiar with the worst consequences of this, but it is worth reflecting on the more mundane consequences too. Good people see this culture and choose not to make a career in politics, as members or staff, and the Australian people lose respect and faith in our Parliament. Last night, I had the privilege to speak to a group of women from across the country who sit outside politics, but who sat in the gallery yesterday for question time. And they were absolutely appalled, outraged by what they saw. They saw it as behaviour that would not be acceptable in any one of their workplaces, but which is encouraged and condoned by the leadership in this place. A waste of time, shouting, mockery, abuse. And this is just a pretty typical, frankly, question time in this place. It is also, they felt, a complete lack of accountability, which is what question time is meant to do. It is meant to hold the government of the day accountable to the people of Australia, but because of the standing orders where questions can basically be avoided or answers can be avoided, that they gained absolutely nothing productive from the 90 minutes that they sat watching. And frankly, that's often how I feel too. And I often think about the kids who come down and watch us, who stand and look to us as leaders in this place, and they look at how we behave and they wonder, would their teachers condone that? Because frankly, they wouldn't. And this is one of the cultures that we need to change in this place, because I think we are absolutely naive to think that you can walk out of question time where people are shouting and baying and calling each other names and then walk back into your offices and create a respectful and respectable workplace. I think that we are absolutely kidding ourselves. This is just one of the parts of the culture in Parliament that falls far short of what Australians expect, but is also one of the most visible parts of our culture. But in the disrespect, the bullying, the harassment, it outrages the community and it devalues all of us. We cannot call ourselves leaders in this country until we fix the culture of how we interact and work together in this place, and specifically in this chamber. Every Australian should be able to visit the Parliament and be treated with dignity, with respect and in accordance with the law. Every Australian should be able to watch behaviour in question time and be reassured that their elected representatives treat their colleagues and others who work here with respect. And we focus on the most important issues that the country faces, not political point scoring. Set the Standard has shone a light on the very worst behaviour in this place. We owe a great deal of debt to Kate Jenkins and the other individuals who came forward to reveal their own painful experiences in hope that documenting the past could improve the future. I welcome this bill because what it achieves, the creation of a Parliamentary Workplace Support Service, the implementation of Set the Standard recommendations and the behavioural codes, are all steps towards ensuring that improved standards will persist, whether we have a minority government, a pandemic, a war, or whatever else confronts the Parliament. And it takes us further on the journey towards an independent Parliamentary Standards Commission, which would permanently embed behaviour standards in Parliament. We clearly have a long way to go before every person in this place is treated the way they ought to be treated. We are starting on the right path, but I fundamentally believe if we do not fix question time, if we do not fix how we behave to each other, and if the leaders, particularly of the major parties, do not also change their own behaviour, then we will not change the culture here. Because coming in as a crossbencher, I had no expectation that this would be how it was. And, but I imagine how different that is as an MP, new MP from the major parties, because you see your leaders up the front shouting and baying and doing, I think, bullying and mocking, all the things I don't want my kids to do every single day. And that's obviously, we all follow our leaders. And I think that is the benefit of the crossbench, to have a different perspective, which is I have the perspective of my community, the sort of 7 or 8 workplaces I've ever worked in, and if I behaved like this in any of my workplaces, I would be out on my ear and I would deserve it. So we need to make changes in this House, but I support where the government is going in supporting this bill. Thank you.